Hello, everyone. Here's an update to the Zemar King boy whose body was found in a shallow grave behind a rental house. If you guys don't know, his mother, Brandy, killed him last year in October, I would want to say, and then they found his body in January. And so, um, she has been arrested. She's going to trial and everything like this. I think she strangled him. I don't know the details, but I will link the video in the card. So here's an update. 6 months before Zemar King was found buried in a shallow grave, the 9-year-old Detroit boy told Children's Protective Services that his mother choked him, beat him with a belt, and wanted to kill him. The startling revelations raise significant questions about the CPS officials did and did not do in response to startling disclosures made by the child. Earlier this month, Wayne County prosecutor charged Brandy Price Pierce with killing King, saying that the cause of death was smothering and neck compression. His body was found in January after a neighbor reported seeing what appeared to be a foot sticking out of the ground. By law, records from Children's Protective Services are guarded closely even after a child dies, but internal CPS documents obtained by 7 News show that the state employees have been warned repeatedly and for years that Zemar was in danger. At least 4 times, records show Brandy Pierce was the subject of CPS complaints. The first came in 2015 after she admitted to marijuana alcohol use during her first trimester. It happened, she said, before she decided to keep Zemar. In 2019, CPS was called again after Zemar was found alone in a lobby of an apartment building, only 4 years old. He told police he didn't know where he belonged and that his mother told him to stay in the lobby while she went to the store. Pierce's cousin later showed up saying Zemar and his mother were staying with her. CPS police said denied the complaint. 2 years later, CPS was called again. On a warm day in May, surveillance video showed Pierce leaving Zemar in her car while she went to a doctor's appointment. In the 78-degree heat, the 5-year-old was left in the locked vehicle for more than 90 minutes, according to the police records, and found alone and crying. Pierce later said that Zemar was a heavy sleeper and said the doctor's office wouldn't let her come to her appointment. What? That doesn't make any sense. Frank Vandervoort is a law professor at the University of Michigan and longtime child welfare advocate who reviewed the initial CPS report. It's a pattern, Frank said. He is a mom again. Here is a mom again who she repeatedly reported by different people in the community. Frank said Pierce's pattern of behavior and the disclosure that she was receiving mental health services on almost daily basis should have been a red flag for CPS that suggests to be very severe level of mental health needed. He said, I'm troubled by that, and it raises more questions than it answers for us. The Macomb County prosecutor would deny a warrant request for child abuse, writing that there was insufficient evidence and nothing that CPS work. Yo, what? Insignificant. Dude, the evidence was right in y'all faces, and multiple people reported, and y'all said there was no evidence. Ugh. CPS closed the case after performing a home visit that, according to records, found no safety hazards, enough food, and suitable sleeping arrangements. CPS received the fourth and final complaint naming Brandy Pierce in April of 2024. This time, Pierce came to the emergency room at a Plymouth hospital saying she was anxious and depressed. Pierce told CPS that she had a breakdown and felt herself going into a panic attack and was questioning whether she should give up custody of Zemar. She's been evicted from a motel, she said. Her car was repossessed and she was completely out of funds. Once she left the hospital, Pierce said she and her kids would be sleeping on the street. Frank called the warnings critical. This is a family with no place to live, he said. She tells the caseworker, I can't sleep in my car. She suggests to me she's been sleeping in her car at some points. But what Zemar King told CPS was most alarming of all. He had not been to school in over a year, he said, and doesn't always have food to eat. King reported that his mother disciplines him by whipping him with a belt, that she has choked him with her hands, and that she wants to kill him. Any rational, normal person walking out on the street hearing this would be completely alarmed by what they're hearing, said Frank. They're not, they would take action. They would call the police if they heard this and saw this. But what CPS did, according to internal records, was close the case. The investigation found no pre-respondence of evidence of physical neglect. Pierce was provided with pamphlets connecting her with community services, and a note was added to follow up on her mental health appointments. The family was placed at COTS, a homeless shelter. 6 months later, after Zemar reported that his mother choked and wanted to kill him, prosecutors say, in announcing charges earlier this month, Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy said investigators concluded that Pierce killed Zemar in October, burying him in the backyard of a rental property where they once lived. Yes, I knew it. I knew it. It is alleged she purchased a shovel. She bound him and tying his hands and feet together. She then put him in this hole and covered him with dirt. Pierce was arrested in Georgia after police received a call that a toddler, Pierce's other child, was found alone in a locked car while temperatures were in the low 40s. Why didn't you just give up your other child? Bitch. Also, in this vehicle, police found human feces and a deflated air mattress. A spokeswoman for the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services declined to comment on this story, citing privacy laws, but the department is heartbroken over the death of Zemar King that extends its sympathies to his family and friends during this external difficult time. MDHHS is deeply committed to ensuring the health and safety of all children, which includes protecting confidential information. The spokesperson would not say whether any CPS employees involved in the previous complaints against Pierce were under investigation and face any discipline. It's just a train wreck that's going to happen, Frank said. You just see it coming, and they don't do anything about it. You guys, this is very hurtful. The signs were everywhere. The red flags were hanging in their face. And I at least counted 6 complaints that the mother gathered all together. Each complaint was closed. This is bullshit. Parents, parents who are good parents, who have everything, never touch their child, never abuse their child, get their children taken away, they get adopted, okay, and there's no evidence that this ever happened, but they need to take the good parents' children away, but the bad parents, they get to keep their children. And things like this end up happening. This is very sad. This little boy should be alive today if CPS did their job. And you see, she was trying to kill her second son. This is ridiculous. Thank God they saved that second boy, but they could have saved Zemar too. They could have they could have saved him. They just didn't want to. But hell, what do I know? I'm just a talking head. Have a great day, you two.